Hi, this is Jack Ma with Century 21. Welcome to this video. As the end of the year approaching, I want to take some time to talk about three trends that we're seeing this year. The first one is that the market is still very sensitive to interest rate. And seems to be two thresholds, 7% and a 6.5%. So whenever the interest rate goes above 7%, we see a very noticeable slowdown in the market. And when the interest rate drop below 6%, on the other hand, we see a really robust activity in the market. And this can be seen a couple different time frames during this year. Beginning of the year, January to beginning of February, we did see interest rate drop to about low 6%. And for those 4 or 5 weeks, the market was really robust. But interest rate continued to went up after that, and it hit 7.5% in April, and all of a sudden the market cooled down significantly. It did not drop until, say, the first week of August when we see 6% again, and market activity picked up. And soon after that, it started to creep up to where we are right now, close to 7%, and we did see a noticeable slowdown on the market since then. So that's the first trend we're seeing. And number two, the second observation, we're seeing that inventory haven't really peaked out this year. In a typical year, inventory, that's the number of homes on the market for sale, usually peaked out between July and August. But so far this year, we haven't seen inventory peaking. And why is that? Well, a couple of things. As I mentioned earlier, the interest rate went back up from 6% to close to 7%, right now. And because of that, the number of demand actually slowed down. So that means less homes are being sold. So the inventory starting to stacking up a little bit. And also that rule change happened in August. The changes, you probably already know the changes with the MLS, where buyer may have to pay for their own commission, and then they have to sign a representation agreement before they can see houses. So that just creates a lot of uncertainties among buyers and a lot of fears, a lot of hesitation. So because of that, we also saw demand dropping more so than before, than usual year. And then that's why so far this year, we haven't seen the interest rate peaked. And the inventory peaked. And inventory has been about, double the amount that of beginning of the year. And the third trend we're seeing is the market is shifting. It actually has been shifting from a seller's market through a neutral market, and we're in a slight buyer's market right now. What that means is, unless a property is well priced, on the spot actually, in a good condition, good location, and good layout, those property are still going to sell fast. Oftentimes still multiple offer. But when a property is less desirable, meaning not as good condition, not as good location or layout, or they are even slightly overpriced, now we're seeing those properties stay on the market. And the fact that the sellers on the market are also very motivated. And the longer they are on the market, the more motivated they are to sell. So we've been seeing buyer taking advantage of that, and then starting to see price, they're buying it at below the asking price. So the market is now basically a neutral market, but maybe for favor to the buyers a little bit. So what's going to happen next year? Well, it's still kind of early to tell. We still have an election next week. Usually there's a bump after the election. There is less activity going on prior to election. Just, whoever you choose is going to have impact on taxes and some law. So people don't like to do major changes prior to election. But we do know the interest rate is going to trend downwards, and our NAR, so National Association Realtor, forecasted that it's going to be a moderate increase for the next 5 years. So essentially, it's going to be pretty flat. So that's kind of what I want to introduce, these ideas with you. These are what's going on actually in the market. In the news, there are a lot of, panic. Panic sells, and then they're just trying to get people to click on their news or to watch the news. So don't believe what's out there. This is what we're seeing right now. If you need more detail about the market, about your individual neighborhood, or if you have a question about whether it's a good time for you to sell, give me a call, 909-610-5188. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.